Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to buy it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Rolex Datejust Ladies size 28mm reference 279171 on a Jubilee bracelet in rose gold and steel with a chocolate dial and diamond hour markers. I'm going to give you a little history about the watch, compare it to a few other of the watches in this category, then talk to you about the bezel dial case bracelet movement, try it on even though I'm a man, and give you my thoughts. So let's start with the history. This watch is the Datejust. It's Rolex's most iconic line. It almost needs no introduction. It was produced initially, I want to say, more than 70 years ago, and it's the most iconic line that Rolex makes. Yes, Rolex makes many iconic lines, the Submariner, the Daytona, so on and so forth, but the Datejust is classic, along with many of their almost every other line that they have, and Rolex being the most successful, biggest, and most powerful watch brand in the world, and the Datejust being its most successful line, says a lot about the watch. Now, the Datejust has many different configurations, because it's their most popular and best line. They make it in literally thousands of variations, but the basic breakdown would be by size, and that's in size 28, which is what you see here, which is the smallest, 31mm and 36mm for ladies. That comes out to small, medium, large. And for men, they make it in size 36 and 41, which is medium and large, size 36 and 41. But let's focus on the 28 that you see here. Now, the 28mm is for ladies that have a small wrist. It's not a man's watch. It's only for ladies. And a lady that has a small wrist, I would suggest those ladies with a wrist size of 6.5 inches or smaller, which comes out to approximately 120 pounds or smaller. If you are that, then probably you could go with a 28mm. If you have a wrist size larger than that, you probably should consider the 31. And if you have a wrist size of, let's say, 7.5 inches wrist or larger, you probably should go with the 36. Now, with that said, this is the smallest Datejust that there is. Now, Rolex also used to make a Datejust that was even smaller than this 10 years ago, but they stopped doing that probably because of legibility issues, as in it was very illegible, and they improved that by changing it 2mm, making it 28mm, and that's what you see here. Now, how is that distance measured? It's measured on the case. The bezel, longest distance across the bezel from the 8 o'clock to the 2 o'clock position, so that's the longest distance across the bezel. That's 28mm. Now, the case itself is made of stainless steel, the hardest steel that Rolex makes, or not only Rolex makes, but that the world can produce. It's the best, most high quality steel. It's 904L steel, very difficult to work with. It maintains a high luster and can be polished many times. And not to mention, it's very strong. Okay, now this watch is actually rose gold and steel. So which part is rose gold? That would be the bezel and the center of the bracelet. Now, the bezel is using the iconic fluted bezel, which Rolex is most known for. They put their most iconic part of the watch on their most iconic watch itself, which makes sense because the Datejust is their most famous line. Excuse me. And the bezel is the part that you see most often next to the dial and serves a very important function. It actually used to serve a function of waterproofness, allowing you to screw the bezel onto the case, ensuring waterproofness. But over time, they figured out how to do it without that, and now it just serves a aesthetic purpose, which, as you probably agree with me, it is very beautiful. Rolex also makes this bezel with a dome bezel. They make a diamond bezel, and they even make a bezel that has diamonds but kind of scattered throughout. So they make several different variations, but this is the most famous. It's the most iconic. It's called the Fluted Bezel, and there you have it. It's made of 18 karat gold. let's talk about the bracelet. The bracelet is a Jubilee bracelet, and what is special about this bracelet than before, I guess I can also say that the case, since we were talking about that, if you compare it to the older version, it's also slimmed down a bit, as in looks a little more streamlined than its predecessor, and the bracelet is also a little bit thinner, which makes it look more feminine and streamlined. This is using the Jubilee bracelet, which is 5-piece links across, as opposed to the Oyster, which is 3-piece links across, and it has a concealed folding crown clasp, which just means that the benefit to that is you don't see any buckle. The negative side to that is there's no 5mm comfort extension. That means it won't change its size without any tools. You have to add a link or subtract one to make it fit, or to change the size. Whereas if it didn't have a concealed buckle, then it could have an extension on it. Okay, at any rate, the center links are rose gold and the edges are stainless steel. Okay, let's move on to the dial. The dial, Rolex is making this dial in many different configurations. This one happens to be in chocolate with 10 diamonds. These diamonds are internally flawless, D color, and the best available in natural stones. You can ensure that Rolex puts only the best diamonds and quality into all their watches. This one's no exception. Okay, and they make the dial of this 28mm in many different configurations. They make it in green, white, purple, rose color, chocolate as you see it here, sundust, mother of pearl. I think that's it actually. But they make many different hour markers off of those, so they make many different variations. This perhaps is one of the most, if not the most beautiful, with this chocolate dial. It's a very nice contrast between the two. And yeah, it looks nice. Okay, the movement here is a 2236 movement. It has a power reserve of 55 hours. Can't really see it anyways, so. All right, now it's time for me to try this on and give you my thoughts. Now, this is a lady's watch. I'm a man, of course. I have a 7.5-inch wrist. You probably have a wrist that's smaller than mine, considering I'm 200 pounds and 6 foot tall, and you probably are not. So it would look much better on you than me, but at least you get an idea what it looks like on a wrist. And if you'd like to buy this watch at the lowest price anywhere online, please go to jazztime.com or click on the link in the description below. My thoughts are, I'm a real fan of women wearing women's watches, just like I'm a fan of men wearing men's watches. I think it makes sense for a woman not to wear a man's watch because it's convenient, but to wear their own watch. And to do so, you need to find a watch that really fits you. I know that the trend is for larger watches, which to some degree I understand it and I like in some situations, but in other situations, like a more formal wear or dress wear, I don't like to see a woman wear a huge fashion watch. I like to see her wear a petite, feminine watch that suits her wrist size as well as her current look. So I believe that this 28 is really an excellent watch. I really like it in this configuration meaning Fluted Bezel and Jubilee Bracelet. And with those two combinations, the watch looks iconic, it looks amazing, and for the price point, I think you really can't beat it. So if you want to buy it, go to jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.